Good evening and welcome to Anime Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me as always in the co-host seats are our good friends Angela Rose and Darren Starling.
Hello.
Angela didn't say anything there.
Yeah, you froze on my end.
Oh.
Oh. Don't you just love the internet?
Yep.
We want to remind everybody that Anime Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, commissions, and cosplay needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox. That's KAYCIFOXX on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are really honored tonight. We have an amazing guest who's not sick of us yet, coming back to join us for the third time. And
no way. I love it here.
We are excited to have Kristi Rothrock joining us. We are supposed to be joined by the winner of our Puchi Con Give-a-way as a guest co-host for a voice actor interview, Tanya Firestine. We are still waiting for her to be able to connect.
Come to us, Tanya. Come to us.
But we are excited that Kristi was able to come back on and join us. I know Christmas was the last time you were on with us for a Christmas special. And I remember correctly, you had to cut that short because of prior obligations.
Yes. It was well, there goes my camera as I bump the desk. I've been cleaning like crazy, so they're just like surrounded by boxes. Honestly, I do not remember what the prior obligation was, but I'm almost positive that it was my work Christmas party that I had to go to, which was sad because I really actually just wanted to stay here. It was like around Christmas time, but I think it was my work Christmas party, and I was like, why can't we just do this? Oh man, but you know how that goes. I like being here better.
Oh yeah, and we love having you as a part of the show. I've become a bigger fan of yours after getting to know you from coming on the show. Of course, we love the work that you've done as Ilulu and as I can never remember the Chimera's name. I don't know. Rose.
Yes.
The problem is there are so many cute characters out, and when you've seen over like 300-400 animes, a lot of character names run together. It's like, how can I not remember Rose?
Absolutely, yes.
Especially when I have Maple sitting here. This is my newest addition.
The little turtle on their head.
Yeah, I had to get Maple because she came with syrup. And
the turtle's name is Syrup?
Yeah, the anime is Bofuri. I think you had a small bit part of.
I did, yes. I was a lady who was, I think, just marveling at the OP hero.
And we picked that up actually yesterday while my wife and I were out celebrating our 6-year wedding anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary on that then. Yay!
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
So we had a good day. Of course, had to go to an anime store and buy an anime Nendroid. I can't not.
Naturally. Of course.
I didn't have the money to buy Sally, who also has the little fox that she got from the during the show from one of their quests.
Aww. Hang on just a second. Sorry, I'm trying to fit. Okay, I'm good. I was trying to get my computer to do something.
It's always a million things going on.
Oh, yeah, of course, naturally. It's never just a simple, yes, this is going to go swimmingly exactly as we planned, which is like, Funimation recording sessions during the pandemic. It never failed, the instant you'd get the read that you want, there would be a chainsaw outside. And so, yeah, everyone just expected technical hiccups like, oh yeah, today the internet in my entire town died. So just letting you know, won't be able to get my recording session today. And so, yeah, technology, as much as we rely on it, still has its faults, unfortunately.
Yes, we know that all too well here with Anime Zing Radio, don't we, Darren?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Before we went to video, Blog Talk Radio, I enjoyed my time on Blog Talk Radio with the show. It was all audio, though, and everything was run through the Blog Talk website. So if there was any technical hiccups, we had people who dropped phone calls because that was via connection number, so a contact phone number, because it wouldn't work with Skype. And so we had a lot of issues there, and we had one set of guests, Hitake and Sahara, who are twin brothers who are cosplayers, that every time they came on, something technically went wrong with the show, to the point that they expected it every time. It became a running joke of, oh, look, yep, it's a normal show.
Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, have you been to any new or fun haunted places recently?
I have not, and ironically, you say that. About a month ago, somebody that I know here in town that is trying to get a paranormal team together reached out and was like, hey, you want to go? Can you go on a paranormal hunt with me on Tuesday night? I'm like, I would absolutely love to, except my work schedule has changed. I now work 60 hours a week. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 8 to 4:30 between two jobs, and I don't have the time.
Yeah. Time is it's a precious resource, that's for sure. Also, what did you and your wife end up doing for your anniversary?
Our original plan was to go to Smuggler's Notch in Vermont to play disc golf. Unfortunately, they had a tournament this weekend, so we couldn't book a tee time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which turned out to be for the best because it was like 55 degrees as a high, windy and rainy.
Ew.
So they must have had a wonderful time throwing discs.
Yeah, enjoy your tournament, guys.
So instead, we went out to a nice breakfast, went to Burlington, Vermont for the day, hit up a couple of stores so we could get stuff for a cosplay she wants to do for Kineticon. And then
can we hear any details about that, or will it be a secret?
It is one of the outfits of Marin from My Dress Up Darling.
Oh, awesome! I have not
Devil.
watched My Dress Up Darling, but I love the concept of it. I just haven't had time to watch it yet. I just love the idea of this like sweet popular girl cosplaying. I just think she's like, that's such a stellar idea.
That was the one anime of the season all three of us agreed on. That is actually a rare. There's one per season, and that's it.
I gotcha. I like that now. I haven't watched it, like I said, but I've heard nothing but good things, and it just sounds so cute. So yeah,
it is the most adorable thing ever.
And Marin has. I made the declaration after like 4 episodes that Marin is best girl of 2022.
I can accept that. Like, I don't even know anything about her, but like, whenever I saw like the audition sides and stuff like that, I was like, oh, this girl is freaking precious. Like, I don't even know. I don't know anything about the show because at that point we were just auditioning for it or whatever. But I was like, this girl is so sweet looking. I love it.
and the show itself was amazing. And one of the reasons that we brought Angela on is Angela and I have known each other for many years. We've been friends, and I've always wanted to have. Bring a female on to have a different perspective of anime, because Darren and I think way too much alike on shows.
I feel that, yeah.
And Angela is a complete 180 from us, which is why we typically have one show a season that we all try to agree on.
I see. That makes sense. I think that's a good thing. And it's cool. I'm glad it was My Dress Up Darling. Because I've heard nothing but good stuff, and plus I know Emily directed that, and Emily's a sweetheart, and so I know she just like she puts everything into everything she does. So like, obviously, like that turned out great, and Emily, was a big part of that too.
Oh, definitely. I loved it. I watched it in both Japanese and in English.
Yeah.
And it just is a fantastic show.
Yeah, it like I said, I just don't have time to watch anything. Like I've been trying to like binge watch some of the shows that I'm in, and I don't even have time to do that, sadly. And so like I'm just like I have a list that's like growing, and that one's on there. I'm just like I need to watch it. I don't know. What are some other recent suggestions that you have for me? Because I just need to like overpopulate my list because of sure, why not?
Spy Family.
Yes.
Spy Family. Oh my God. I have heard so much about Spy Family.
Spy Family is the one for this season we agree on.
Yeah, it is big right now.
A lot of cosplays at Anime Boston of Spy Family. Even actually, we went to not this weekend, but last weekend we went to a convention in Watertown, New York. Very small first-year con held in a nice arena, and we actually found somebody cosplaying from Spy Family.
Yeah, it
cosplaying the
looked
wife.
huge. It was whenever I went to visit Burbank in LA here recently, and Little Tokyo there is really neat. And what do I hear?
That's true.
Probably the background noise behind Angela.
Oh, okay.
You can't see them, but she has her husband and their roommate are probably watching TV and talking on the couch behind the curtains.
Oh, okay. It sounded like a newscast or something. I was like, am I going insane? But anyway, yeah, so I'm sorry, what was I talking about? I got sidetracked.
Spy Family.
Spy Family, yeah. So whenever I just went to recently visit there, in Little Tokyo, every single shop had Spy Family everything, and so I knew it was like huge, because it's like in all the anime shops, like Kinokuniya, like the bookstores and stuff. Like Spy Family is like the show this season.
And that's actually one of the cosplays that we're looking at doing as a family. My wife, myself, and our daughter.
What? No, that's so cute.
And where our daughter is 4, she'll be 5 shortly after AAC this fall. But we want to dress her up as Anya because we think that would be cute.
Yes. Oh my god, that would be precious.
And I did cosplay for Anime Boston. You'll be proud of me for who I picked.
Okay, who'd you pick?
Kobayashi.
Oh, really?
I before Anime Boston this year, my wife and I were talking. You see a lot of Kobayashi cosplays, but it's always the dragons. You never see a Kobayashi.
Oh yeah.
I saw 4 other people dressed as Kobayashi aside from myself.
What? You just happened to be the con that everyone dressed as Kobayashi, and you're just like, darn it, I had something new here.
And eventually, my wife wants to do an Alulu cosplay.
If she ever does an Alulu cosplay, oh my god, I'm so here for it. Speaking of which, I did my eye makeup today in a Lulu theme. I was like, purple, black, and pink. Why not? Like, I did a Lulu makeup today. I got the fade going on.
Tried to get Angela to watch it, like season 2. She couldn't get into Kobayashi season 1, but I figured the opening of season 2, first episode, she would enjoy, just because of the epic fight battle between your character and Toru.
Oh my gosh, that fight was so fun.
That was one. Honestly, I would not be surprised if it was one of those timing bits. That and Friends basically kind of forced me to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when that happens, typically I just end up disliking whatever it is. Period.
No, I feel that because even though I know like it's got a massive fan base and it's huge and it's like everybody loves it for a reason, I actually cannot get into Demon Slayer just because.
Thank you.
Well, it's because of the overexposure. Like I know I need to watch it.
Fair.
Yeah, it's just I know I need to watch it, but it's like everywhere I go is
it's
Demon Slayer.
It's okay, but it's blown way out of proportion. And the only reason Demon Slayer even got the recognition it did was one of the later episodes where they got the CGI right for the first time in anime history.
That was one of those.
That's literally the scene that blew up the whole show.
We put off watching it, I think, for that reason, that it was one of those just so overhyped. And then my husband read the manga and then was like, okay, we can watch this now. Well, and it's a work in progress.
And I know that like if I ever just like jumped off and decided to watch it, I'd probably love it. It's just I'm so overexposed to it right now that I just don't have the desire to. And like it has a fan base, it has such a huge following, and it has like all the merch for a reason. So I know it's good. It's just right now I can't get myself in the mindset to watch it. But I know one day I will because it's funny. I was actually talking with my boyfriend about this recently, but for both of us, for a while, My Hero Academia was the same. whenever it first came out, and it was like the first season, and all you saw of All Might was just like him being basically Superman. And so I was like, okay, yay, All Might, he's Superman. Okay, ooh, great, like a really powerful superhero. And then I watched My Hero, and I was like, I love this man. We must protect him, and he's the purest man. And I just want him to be Deku's dad. And so, like, once I watched it, I was like totally in love with the idea of My Hero. And so it just took me watching it to love it. But I know that's what it's going to take with Demon Slayer, and right now I can't bring myself to watch it just because it's like I've seen so much of it recently.
I'm the opposite. I gave Demon Slayer I try to give every anime a 3-episode trial. If you can't hook me in 3 episodes, I'm not gonna. With so many shows coming out every season.
No, I think that's fair. I think that's a really honest shot to give shows. So
because going by one show, by going like by one episode, don't go by the first episode of a series because it's usually it's
always the setup. Yeah,
it's a setup, a lot of tropes, a lot of unnecessary nonsense.
Well, and on top of that, a lot of the characters aren't just 100% set in stone yet, because as an actor myself, I know, the first episode is a lot of the time spent finding that right vibe for that character. And so who the character is at the beginning of the show might be different from who they are a couple of episodes later. So if you go based on the first episode, you might not be getting the true like reality of that character until like a few episodes later when the actor has kind of settled into that character.
There's a couple of shows where I would say they nailed episode 1, but they are few and far between.
Yeah, to me, Paranoia Agent is like one of the most perfect animes out there. So like Paranoia Agent cannot do wrong for me. And so for me, the first episode, I was like rabid for more after that. And the show never disappointed me. But
I was that way for Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories had me hooked from episode 1.
Oh my God, the dub, right?
The dub, of course.
The dub. I binged the dub in like 2 days.
I gave Demon Slayer 6 episodes, and it did not hook me in 6 episodes. I was like, I'm just not a shonen.
And this is kind of the testament to our difference in taste, because Demon Slayer hooked me in like an episode and a half.
I see.
You have a good day.
Yeah, one that I've just recently been binge watching with my boyfriend that I'm going to finish up. I'm going to finish the 2nd season in July. But it's Carol and Tuesday. I've been watching that, and it's just a really wholesome thing, and I really like it. I don't know. It's sweet.
My wife liked that one. She said I should check it out, but we don't have Netflix right now, so.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had to make a Netflix burner account for mine, because I don't have Netflix either. Your girl's trying to save money over here.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah, that money's going in the gas tank. It's not going into my eyeballs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we don't even want to talk about how outrageous.
And to top it off, I've got to put my car in the shop.
Boof. Your car knows when you have money.
My car knows that I finally rebuilt my savings from the last time it went into the shop.
Your car knows when you have money. Yep.
But hey.
It super sucks.
Yep, and gas prices aren't going to go down again anytime soon.
I don't know what they are there, but they're like $4.50 here.
I wish.
I wish. $4.90s here.
$4.50s here, $4.50s, $4.60s, and diesel is $5.69, $5.70. So.
Yeah.
And regular up here the other day was $5.07.
Well, whenever I was visiting Burbank, I was so glad I wasn't driving anywhere, because no joke, I'm not kidding, gas in California was almost $7.
Yeah, we're not looking forward to when that's going to happen on the East Coast.
No.
That's honestly like, although I will never be, I feel spoiled now, because obviously, we measure gas by the gallon. In England, they measure gas by the liter. whenever we had it for about $3.50-ish a gallon over here, they already had shot up to about $5 a liter in England. And I was like, oh, I feel so spoiled, because whereas a fill up for my tank would have been, $35, over in England, it would have been closer to like $80. And so,
Yep.
I didn't know that it was that expensive in England.
Yeah.
About to say, you could fill up your car for $35. I envy you.
It's just a 10-gallon Nissan. I mean, that's the only reason. It's not like I got a lot of horsepower to be burning over here.
Nope. But no, one of my friends in the UK actually has been posting similar things when somebody complains about gas prices. He'll counter with, over on this side of the pond, it's like double the price.
Oh man, I have nothing but sympathy because my boyfriend lives in England and he's having to pay those gas prices, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm sorry. I wish I could lower the gas prices. But yeah, it's like nightmarish over there.
I can only imagine. And I know we were talking earlier that you're trying to get your name out to more conventions. Do you have any conventions coming up this season or this year that have been confirmed yet? Or
no, I don't have any that are confirmed or that I can announce or anything. I actually had to cancel on one in February, which was a huge bummer, but it was a recording schedule issue, which was it was one of those things I was like, I cannot budge on this recording schedule. And so unfortunately I had to cancel on them this year. But they were like, yeah, we'd like to have you back this next year. And I am not going to say which con, because they were wonderfully kind and wonderfully nice, but I don't want to be presumptuous and be like, oh yeah, I'll be at that one, because, I want to double check with them and be like, yo, I promise I won't flake on you this time. Like, please give me another shot. It was a really terrible time. And so I don't want to say who it was, because they're incredibly professional and I would love to put their name out for that reason. It's just, I also don't want to say like, yeah, I'll be a guest there whenever I haven't actually signed anything with them, because I don't want them to like think that I'm going to be a flake again and then not want to sign me. So I will leave that in their court, because they are wonderfully sweet. And so hopefully, fingers crossed for February of 2023, I'll have something to announce.
Fingers crossed, and hopefully we can find a way of getting you up to the New England area.
I would love that. Yes, come see me.
So to all of my friends who have conventions in the New England and New York area, reach out to Kristi. She's awesome.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. I try to be like, I try to get back to people on my email as much as possible, but you know how that goes. I'm so sorry I took so long to respond to you.
Oh, it's all good. It's not a problem. We obviously, doing a show like this for 8 years, I have come to understand that as a voice actor, you have a very busy schedule between work, personal life, and trying to organize things, especially where you have multiple jobs, not just voice acting, but you've got the radio side and everything else you do.
And I also teach.
So I know if I email you, you will get back to me when you can. And,
that's precisely it.
And I've never been somebody that's tried to like hound somebody or anything like that. So.
Oh no, you've always been super chill on email, and I really appreciate you being patient with me, because that's exactly what it is I'm just like, I try to get back to everybody, but I can't make promises all the time. And then sometimes stuff slips through the cracks and I'm like, crap. But I try to manage as much as possible. I'm a little bummed that our guest hasn't come on. Where are they?
I don't know. She has seen the messages that I've sent her, but she has not responded to any of them. So hopefully, Tanya, if you are tuning in, you click the link to join us.
Yes, please.
And
also, I'm propping my legs up because it's hot as heck here. Like it was no joke. It was like 106 here today. It was a heat advisory day. It was the don't go outside or you'll die kind of day. And so like I have shorts on, but I skate. So my legs are just like covered in bruises. I just look like I'm like just been thrown around places, but I'm just like, I just have my legs propped up because it's hot in here. And I'm just like, great. It looks like I'm just like covered in nastiness, but it's just bruises from skating.
Derby?
No. I just, I do like, at the park and do like the ramps and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's super
nice.
fun. I'm a skate park skater, but I'm on the. I don't do skateboard. I do roller skates still. And I wanted to do derby for a while, but I fell once while I was on one of the ramps and I busted my chin open. And I almost needed stitches. And actually, I probably did need stitches. I just didn't want to go to the emergency room on a Friday night in America,
Yep.
because I
Makes
didn't want to be
sense.
in debt for the rest of my life. But anyway,
Been there.
yeah. And so I just like had my friend who was wonderful. He's a dentist. He happened to be in town, and we called him, and he like came over and like made sure my jaw wasn't broken, and he was like, I mean, I could try to stitch it up for you, but I don't have any anesthesia. And I'm like, maybe we can butterfly tape this shut instead. And so, like, I totally messed up. I chipped a tooth and everything. And so after that, I was like, I need to, like, not do anything that could involve any potential mouth trauma, even if I have a mouth guard on. Because if I bust a lip, like, that's going to mess with my career. If I, like, mess with the way my teeth are formed, it might mess with the way I talk. And so, like, I wanted to do derby until I realized that was reality. And I was like, okay, so we're just only going to stick with the stuff we're comfortable with now, Kristi. And so I'm comfortable on the ramps, but other than that, I'm just like, nope, I don't want to do anything else. I'm too scared. I'm a wiener.
That is 100% fair, and that is an adorable cat.
No, thank you. Dottie came to make her appearance. She's very chatty, so if you hear meow meow, that's exactly who you're hearing right here is Miss Dottie Princess.
And she going after stuff on the desk.
Oh yeah, that's like her spot to lay. That's her little co-pilot seat.
I've got one sleeping on the couch behind me, and I'm not sure where the little boy is.
Yeah, you have the cutest kitties.
They usually try to make their appearance when I'm on the air, but you never know.
Dottie, her tail got hung in one of my bobby pins.
Ow.
It was more annoying than anything. She's just mad that I'm not wearing PJ pants because she doesn't like laying on skin, but it's too hot to wear PJ pants. So she's like wanting in my lap, but she can't get in my lap because I'm not wearing PJ pants. And so she's just going to mess with all my stuff instead.
Of course.
Kick all my stuff off the computer desk. She's like, I hate you. Forget you.
The wonders of
she's
live.
She's over there angry with me now.
The wonders of live radio. Live streaming.
Oh, I know, right? I'm trying to like make it so that none of the boxes like are visible in the stream. Just my little firefighter rat from Promare.
I know. I tried to set the camera up to where I could have Maple in the shot, not so much glare from the window behind that we don't have window coverings for yet, because we've been paying every other bill and not really upgrading the apartment much in the couple years we've been here.
I feel that.
Plus conventions, 2022, I decided to really push the show. Mm-hmm. So next weekend is going to be my 6th convention of the year.
Oh, dang.
Wait. Oh, that's Rail City, isn't it?
Yeah, Rail City Fan Fest.
Okay.
So that's going to be going on in St. Albans, Vermont. It's a first-year con, small convention. We had the creator of it on Friday night. I was surprised. He's only 26 putting on a convention. He's a cosplayer.
That's amazing.
He's more of a DC, he's more of a comic Star Wars kind of guy than anime. Mm-hmm. But it's still going to be fun to check out this first-year con. And I told him if he needs any guests or anything like that in the future, any anime guests, I told him I could help him out.
Right.
Speaking of conventions, we have a comment. Do you have any preparation for Anime Expo?
Is that for?
That is for everybody. Anybody, everybody.
I have no preparation for Anime Expo, although if you would like to see me at Anime Expo, you know who to talk to, Anime Expo. Have them invite me. But I will also reach out to Anime Expo and see if there's anything that I can look into, because, hey, the worst I can do is ask and they'll say no, so we'll figure it out.
And I will send you the email. Reach out to Puchi Con, Jennifer Perez, who puts that on. I will say that I was thoroughly impressed by how they ran Puchi Con. It was a convention I had heard of but never been to.
Mhm.
When they reached out looking for sponsorship, donations, things of that nature, on a whim, I reached out to them and we worked something out for sponsorship for their Pennsylvania convention. And I was impressed by how attentive the staff was to not just the voice actors, but the vendors, the artists, the attendees. There was no vendors there that I knew before going. And at least 5 people came up and was like, I can't believe how amazing the staff has been, checking in on us multiple times throughout the day. Because there are cons where you'll have a table as an artist or a dealer, and they'll tell you where your table is, and you won't see anybody the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, see, that's so hard because it's like whenever you're trying to do 1,000 other things, it's like staff that make it, harder where you're just kind of fending for yourself. You're just like, it just makes things hectic. But yeah, no, I've been, all the cons that I've been to have had really, really great staff, and I've had really wonderful handlers before. There was, the handlers that I've had have all been wonderful. And so that's good to know, Puchi Con is like, they're well staffed and, they really look out for people like that. And definitely I will send an email to them.
And you can see, because we did a live stream for like a 3-hour live stream Saturday and Sunday from our table during the convention. And you can see the staff constantly checking in on us.
That's amazing.
And it wasn't just one person. It was like 4 or 5 different staffers who would come by and check on us. And Jennifer herself would come by and stop at every table and talk to every vendor. And how are you doing? Is things good? Anything we can help you with?
See, that's awesome. And that's like the right way to do a convention,
And that's something that can make or break a convention is the staff.
Yep.
Well, yeah. And like, especially not just like how they treat the guests and, the people who are there, who are, essentially there to make the money, but also how they treat like con attendees and stuff like that. Because I know that's also a big one because unfortunately, you're going to hit a few crumb bombs along the way. And, I've seen it from what you're talking about, which is phenomenal, all the way to heard horror stories about like just horrendous con staff. And I'm just like, I am so lucky. All the cons that I've been to have just had like marvelous staff. I've had nothing but good luck. Whenever I was a guest at Akon, my handler Akon was like knocking it out of the park. She was a killer. She's just like, she was great. I don't remember her name, which makes me feel really bad, but that was like in 2016. So that was bad. It was a long time ago, or 2017, but,
a long time ago in what feels like a galaxy far, far away.
Honestly, it really does. Like, it feels like we blacked 2 years completely out of the calendar. Just like a Sharpie. Just, it's gone.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah. So whenever I was there, my handler was like, just she was a real one for sure.
And I know as a voice actor, you're always telling people if you want to see me at a con near you, have the cons reach out to you as a voice actor. And does it surprise you the reception you get when you go to these conventions, the amount of fans who know you and know your work?
Oh my God, every freaking time. Like, I'm not even kidding. I've always said, the fact that I have one fan is already astounding to me, let alone several, let alone people who are excited to meet me. That's already like a big thing to me. But like anytime somebody wants my autograph or they write me fan mail, my fridge is covered in every fan letter I've ever gotten. Like I just put them all up there because they're all so important. And every time I have somebody that comes to see me and they're just like, hey, I want you to sign this, or I'm a big fan, I am just like, I'm going to need a minute. I'm not used to being like, you're so nice. Why are you so nice to me? And it's just like, it always just like, it doesn't catch me off guard because it's like, I have to be prepared for it. But at the same time, it's always just like, God, like, I cannot believe this is real. And it's so unreal. And I'm so thankful for it. Like beyond thankful for it. It's just such an interesting feeling. And it never, ever is going to like feel normal to me.
I am hoping at some point that's one of the goals that I have for AZR is to be a guest at a convention in the future. It may happen this year. We are in talks with a con.
That's exciting.
Thanks to Angela's hard work at PAX East.
I forgot about that.
But we need to finalize stuff before we can say yay or nay. But that's going to be a late fall, early winter convention.
Oh, cool. We should do a convention together, like at some point, like one of the conventions we're going to be at together, totally like do some kind of panel together. I'm down.
God, yeah. That would be awesome.
I say as I laugh evilly. I'm like, you didn't know what you just signed yourself up for, boy.
I'm not doing this panel without AZR. I need them here.
No, yeah. I'm like, I need my AZR, all right.
Oh, God.
No, I would love that. That would be super cool if we ever happen to be at the same con together. Yes, absolutely.
I would love it. And
we didn't plan this panel.
Yeah, the thing that was interesting about like doing a podcasting panel at Anime Boston, I had attempted to get in there for about 4 years minus COVID time, because obviously Anime Boston skipped 2 years because of the pandemic. Always put on the waiting list. It was never turned down, but always put on the waiting list.
Gotcha.
This year, I was waitlisted until a couple weeks before, and we got approved. I said, I will be there. It may just be me by myself. I may have a co-host. I don't know. It depends on what time the panel is. As it turned out, Angela was stuck at work Friday, so she couldn't join me for the panel. And I have, I do the show improv. I can't script anything.
Oh, yeah, and it always sounds scripted when you do anyway, so. By the way, if you hear squeaking, my cat, she coughs. She's fine. She's not barfing or anything. She just goes sometimes, and so if you hear squeaking, that's what it is. She's done it ever since she was a kitten. She's fine. I've had her checked out. It's just my cat coughs sometimes.
and this panel was 100% improv, and I did a Puchi Con improv, and I had, not counting my wife and daughter, 4 people in the room.
Oh, good. Oh, goodness.
So when I went to Anime Boston and saw the size of this room that, full capacity would be about 500 people, second time I've ever done a panel.
You're just like sweating. You're like, no pressure or anything. Yeah, I'm just speaking in front of a live audience and everyone's looking at me.
And I'm standing up on the table or I'm standing up on the stage sitting at the table, and I'm looking at this room. Like, I got there an hour and a half before the panel started. And, of course, a friend of ours is, a big help. 30 minutes till the panel starts. Are you nervous? Yeah.
Of course I am. Yes, I am. Because I've actually done a podcast panel too, believe it or not, like one on podcasting. And I did the exact same thing. I showed up like 30 minutes before the panel. I was just like sitting there, just like sweating so much. And I was just like, oh, what if I screw up? And like, this was before I started teaching audio production and stuff like that. And so I basically just had to like build a panel around that. And that was really difficult because at that point I didn't have just a ton of voice acting experience. So I didn't feel right being like, yeah, put me on a voiceover panel. I've done Walla. And so, I just did like a podcasting panel, and bless the small handful of people who showed up for it. They're wonderful. And they were great and were engaged, and I loved it. But I knew being like only basically like having voiced like 1 or 2 characters and like doing that in like what you said, a large room. It's like, before I was doing that, no matter how many people would have showed up, even if one person showed up, I still would have just been like, because it's scary. It's scary being like the authority on something and being like, I have to show somebody else this now.
Yeah. And I was very thankful that we had about 50 people who showed up.
Heck
and
yeah.
a lot of good questions. I wanted to be interactive. And we gained, I think we gained like 5 or 6 new subscribers on the YouTube channel because of it. And
that's awesome.
Trying to get the name out there. And one of the questions that was asked was, how much time do you spend on your show? And in my case, it's every waking moment I'm thinking about something with the show.
Hey, that's actually the right mindset. Because, being a person who works in radio, the way they tell it to us is like radio prep is not something you do, it's a mindset. And so basically what you're doing is the exact same thing, which is like, you're not thinking, what am I going to talk about on the show? You're seeing opportunities and saying, oh, that might be a thing I can talk about on the show. So you're always in that mode of like, you know, seeing and noticing little things and always thinking about like what you could do to make the show better. Like I can open up my text messages to myself currently and like, I have all these texts to myself of like things I can talk about on my show that I just thought about in the middle of the day. And so I completely feel that. And in my professional radio opinion, you're doing it correctly. So good job on that.
Thank you. It's nice to know that, you know, because before really doing AZR, I did some other, like, I co-hosted on internet radio shows in the past, but it was paranormal and more paranormal pop culture than anime pop culture. Mm-hmm. So I took a big chance by jumping from paranormal to the anime and Comic-Con world.
Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't see that there at the time when I started this. I didn't see many like podcasts or stuff that talked anime, especially ones that would reach out and bring on voice actors and do interviews like we do. Even like especially with cosplayers and artists and gamers and the wide variety of guests that we reach out to on the show here. I didn't see anybody else that was really doing that at the time. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you know, here we are 8 years later and it's still going good, and I'm really like, you know, focused. I wish I had done the YouTube thing 8 years ago, because then I'd probably be making money and wouldn't have to work 60 hours a week. But
hey, man, you're getting there. Like, you've got a super cool show. Like, I love coming on the show and just chatting with you guys. I was actually just talking to my boyfriend before this. I was like, yeah, I love getting to talk to them. Like, they're so chill. It's like such an easy night whenever I know I'm getting on your podcast. I know I'm not, like, it's just easy being here and it's fun talking to y'all. So, like, I really do love it here. Thanks for having me on.
I'm glad that you have a good time coming on, because that's one thing that I always worry about is, like, as we've said before, I don't script anything, and the last thing I want is any guest to come on and feel pressured.
No, I've never felt pressured on your show. You always I always look forward to coming on. So thank you always for inviting me on. It's always really nice.
And it's always an honor for me to have you on. You know, I'm a huge fan of a lot of the roles you've done. Everybody, of course, from Elulu and Rose to Edelgard from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and
Rinsen and Back Arrow, Rosie and Dragon Ball. It's all fun stuff.
Even Cologne and World End. I
will say Back Arrow was trippy.
Back Arrow was something else, was it not?
Yes.
Oh my god. Being Rinsen and Back Arrow was super fun because I don't get to like growl and roar a whole bunch, but that was like yes! And that was actually another show that Emily, who directed My Dress Up Darling, that was another one that I think she like sub-directed on or assistant directed on. And so she like it was great because like she got to direct me on some of those and we were having an absolute blast, just like letting her rip tater chip whenever it came to Rinsen's yells. And then later on, I think it was during My Dress Up Darling, it might have been a different show, I'm not sure, but there was a part where there was like this like feral girl in a video game and all she did was roar, and Emily called me and she was like, I knew somebody who could do this, and I was like, I got you. And like, because I can put a lot of texture in my voice, and so she was like, I knew exactly who to call, the person who voiced Rinsen. Why wouldn't I call that person? And I'm just like, yes, Emily, thank you. You know, I love doing all monstery stuff like that. Super fun.
Nice.
Yes, I love it.
And you've always done a lot of like creative characters when it comes to shows, and you've been involved in some of the bigger name shows. You know, as you said, you had a small bit in My Dress Up Darling.
I think I can't remember exactly what show it was because it was a while ago, but I do know Emily directed it, and she's wonderful to work with.
Yuri on Ice you were a part of, which that was a fantastic show as well.
That was fantastic.
It was so good. It was one of my first shows that I was ever in. I think it was the second named character I ever got.
And one show that I really enjoyed that doesn't get the love that it deserves, and you were in both seasons 1 and season 2 of it, was Restaurant to Another World.
I agree. That's a unique show. And the episodes that I watched of it, I was like, this is cool. I like this. I don't know. Like my boyfriend has been getting me into a lot more anime here recently. And so like it's nice to add to my list of animes that we can like binge together. He's recently showed me the first couple of episodes of Fate. It's Endless Blade, I think. Is that what it is?
The blade work.
Yeah. That one. He's recently shown me that one, the first couple of episodes of that. And I'm so bad at names. I'm sorry. Yeah, Unlimited
okay.
Blade Works. But he just recently showed me that one. And I'm just like, okay, this rules. Like, I am on board with this and I want to watch more. And so I'm glad that I'm actually getting time to like watch more anime these days. I'm just like, yes. And so now I'm just like adding to my list of animes that I need to watch. And, you know, I am going to be one of those people, like, I'll hop on. Oh my God. So sorry. I've been cleaning all day, and so this table's kind of wobbly because I've just been like messing with it and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, no, I'll just like come on the show one day at some point if you ever, you know, have me back on, and I'll have like a little Fate figurine standing up here or something. I'll be like, look, I learned from the best. I'm gonna try to fix my camera here.
Well, you know, you're always welcome back anytime.
I don't want to be presumptuous and be like, yeah, next time I'm on your show. No, I don't want to be that guy or anything. It's just I always love coming on here and like I love chit-chatting with you.
We love having you on. You know,
thank you.
You have become one of my favorite guests to have on the show, which is why we've reached out to you so much in such a short span of time.
Well, that makes me really happy. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy having me on here. I was going to say, if I ever do make my way around a convention up there, we have like, I don't know, got to find a haunted spot. Like you, me and your wife or something. Like we've got to find like a place to go ghost hunting.
I know the perfect spot if it's in New York.
Say what?
I was going to say, come to Salem.
Oh, Salem,
Massachusetts.
Salem, Mass.
That's actually, I have a place, or I have an app on my phone called Places Been, and you can mark down all the places you've been, but also the places you want to go. And Salem, you better bet your booty it is on that list because I love the idea of going to Salem.
And I'm farther away from there now, but I used to live an hour and a half from Rolling Hills in Batavia, New York, back when I lived in the Syracuse area.
Whoa.
Rolling Hills has appeared on multiple TV shows.
Oh, I know Rolling Hills.
I've been locked in overnight twice. And I know the owner. So
what? That's awesome. Oh, I love hearing about your ghost excursions. Even if we don't go on a ghost adventure, you got to tell me some stories, man.
Well, I got plenty.
So what you're telling me is we need to do a campfire at some point where we just tell ghost hunting and or witchy stories.
I grew up in a house that definitely had to have been haunted. So like, yes. Even if it's like a virtual campfire, you can have like a little like GIF of a campfire going on in the middle and we all can tell creepy stories.
Or the screensaver on a computer that's a campfire or something like that.
I'm so sorry. I'm just like, hey, here's a bunch of ideas for your show.
No, I did in fact, behind my green screen, there is a giant TV and there was one night where I did have the Yule log thing going.
Oh, killer. Okay.
Because my husband was not home and subsequently the TV was not being
used. And it was before she put the screen up behind her, it was a common theme that something was on TV.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because I live in Boston. We have a tiny house.
That's okay. I have an itty bitty apartment, so I feel you.
And subsequently, the living room is tiny, and that is where my computer is because I refuse to have my computer in my bedroom again.
Oh God, no! That's like the best way to keep yourself awake. Yeah.
Unless you're me.
Yeah, unless you're Darren. So unless you're Darren, nothing will keep him awake half the time.
Oh gosh, I wish I was that way. I'm the other way around. Nothing will put me to sleep. I have to like medicate myself to death to make myself sleep. It's ridiculous. I don't know what it is, but I cannot sleep well. And so I like like I have to take like 2 different sleeping medications before I go to bed, and like still sometimes they don't work. Like I took Ambien, and Ambien was just like, what? And I'm just like, please, something help. If Ambien doesn't help, what will? But luckily I found like a nice little cocktail, mama's cocktail, to go to bed at night. So I'm joking, by the way. I don't have a drug cocktail or anything like that. But no, it's just, man, sleeping does not come naturally to me. That's for darn sure. So I wish we could switch superpowers, Darren.
There are times I wish I could make my brain shut off.
Oh, same
night.
here.
Same. Yeah, one of my things that I take before bed is an anti-anxiety medication, because hoo boy. Because otherwise, that's how you remember stuff from like the 8th grade that you did that was embarrassing, and then you just ruminate about it all night. Like the time I sang I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor in front of my entire 8th grade class. I've always been a little dumb.
I think that's why you fit in with all of us here. I think we all fit into that category in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, we're not afraid to make fools of ourselves. It's fine.
Nope.
I worked for a Walmart in Massachusetts at one point, and in the mornings we would have to stand around the food area and have our meeting, and then we'd have to do a little chant at the end, and I refused to do it. And they're like, why aren't you doing the chant? I said, public humiliation is not part of my job title. It just comes naturally. So, at that point, they excused me from ever doing that again.
Good.
Gave them a good comment.
I've seen like videos of the Walmart chant, and I'm just like suffering secondhand embarrassment.
And they do it in the public so everybody can see you doing it.
I know, and I know exactly what chant you're talking about, and I am so glad that you were like putting your foot down and be like, no, I will only stoop so low. And I just, the Walmart chants a lot. And so my mom and dad work there, and I don't know if they're required to do the chant, but I know for a fact if they were, my mom and dad would definitely opt out of it, because they're the same way. They're like, look, you pay me to work here, not to chant about the place.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And also, like you said, it's just like, look, I'm perfectly great at embarrassing myself. I don't need to chant.
I think Ange knows I'm good at embarrassing myself, especially with... Were you there when I oopsied with the press conference at AB? I think it was Saturday morning.
Probably.
When I forget who the guest was, but it was the first press conference of Saturday morning, and all of us were standing outside of the press room.
That. Because then my moment with that same guest happened at the end. Yeah. I got called out for running my mouth, but I do that.
I don't remember. I feel horrible that I don't remember who it was. I just remember that we're standing outside with like all the press, all the different press outlets are waiting to go into the room for the interview. And I looked over, and there was people standing there. A couple of them were staffers, and I like, oh, they're just waiting to get in the room or something like that. I was like, oh, what media outlet are you with? And he's like, oh, I'm so and so. I'm the voice acting guest. Oh, with the mask on, Griffin Burns.
Yep.
Thank you. For the text message from the wife, Griffin Burns. It's like, oh, I'm Griffin Burns. I'm like, oh,
I remember that.
With the mask on, I didn't recognize you. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot.
I don't think anyone's good. Like,
because he was in he also did one of the voices in an anime that I actually really enjoyed, and I was saying something to Leanne at the end when like we were getting shit like packed up to leave. And Griffin Burns actually called me out for my commentary.
Oh my goodness. Well, like, I don't know. As far as like me, if that were to happen to me, I definitely would not be bothered by it, especially with the mask. Because first off, I mean, how often am I in front of a camera versus in front of a mic? Like, I don't expect anyone to know what I look like. My hair on my Twitter profile is like a grassy green. And this light, it looks purple. It's actually like a hunter green. So it's like my hair changes colors constantly. I've got, 8,000 different styles that I wear. And so I don't expect anyone to like recognize me, especially with a mask on. And so really the truth is I if that was the case, I can almost guarantee you that this person was not butthurt about it. And,
Oh, I'm sure he was. He probably laughed at it.
oh yeah, I mean, like, I'm a voice actor. I'm used to not being recognized, which I'm not saying that as like a pity me kind of thing. It's just like I can go to the grocery store. I like it.
and then I had, make myself look like an ass 2.0 when I'm only 3 times in the history of Anime Zing Radio have I talked to a voice actor at a convention, handed him a card, and they actually responded back via email. This most recent time was from Puchi Con, Josie McCoy, who is one of the voice actors from Genshin Impact.
Uh-huh.
And he sent me an email out of the blue.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't read it. I really didn't read who the name was, where it came from. It just said so-and-so from Genshin Impact. So I thought it was a cosplayer because everywhere you go, there's a million cosplays. And I talked to so many people at Puchi Con.
And Genshin's huge right now.
Yep.
And in my defense, it was the weekend after Anime Boston, 25,000 people.
Right.
Trying to get my brain wrapped around and recover from that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Brain's kind of a cooked egg after that.
And he was like, I'd love to come on. We talked at Puchi Con. You said you'd love to have me on the show. I would love to come on. I'm like, certainly, would love to have you on. I don't fully remember exactly who you were. Were you one of the cosplayers? He goes, no, I am the voice of so-and-so from Genshin. I'm like, oh, I am so sorry. I have convention brain. We were at Anime Boston last weekend, and I'm still trying to recover. He goes, totally understandable. I was at a Star Trek convention.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that so much. No, seriously, like anytime that you've like thought that you've made a jerk out of yourself, I can almost guarantee you that the other person does not even remember. So here's a good story that I've told. I told on Kyle's stream, I think. So Kyle, the director of Dragon Maid, years before I got cast as a Lulu, I knew it was years because it was whenever we were still recording in studio pre-pandemic. And so usually Walla groups are 4 people. And if they're co-ed, there's 2 girls and 2 guys. And so there were 2 guys. And I was there for a Walla session. And I didn't know Kyle well enough to know exactly what he looked like. And so I couldn't remember what the text said either on who I was supposed to be with. And I was like, I think this is the person. Because it was the same, it was a Walla session the exact same time as my Walla session. And just with a different director. Not with Kyle. My Walla session was not with Kyle. And so it was 2 guys and then 1 other girl and then me. And I was like, oh, this must be it. I must be the 4th girl. And so he comes in, he's like, hey, everybody back. And he goes, except you, Kristi. And I thought he was just being playful, and like being like silly, kind of mean, like, except you. And I just kept walking and he turns around and he goes, no, really, I don't think I called you in today. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is the most embarrassed I've ever been in my entire life. And I just did this walk of shame back to the lobby. And I talked to him about it later and he goes, yeah, I do not remember that at all. But it like haunts me in my sleep. And whenever I saw that I found out that I got cast as Ilulu and I knew that he was directing, I was like, you mean he doesn't think I'm a complete idiot? This is awesome. Because I thought I was a complete idiot for that. And like I talked to him later on the stream and he was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, I'm sorry for being a dip. Like you did the exact right thing by just saying, hey, like you're not with me today. You didn't make fun of me or anything. Like he was just telling me the reality of the situation. And I just brain didn't believe it for a second.
Yep.
And so yeah, he forgot about it. And so anytime that somebody has come up to tell me like, oh my God, I can't believe I said this around you, and I'm like, said what? So don't worry about it.
I could honestly believe that with the stories I've heard with stuff that goes on at Funimation from the voice actors, especially when they know each other and how much they play around.
Oh, it's so fun.
I could see you, oh, we don't need you today, ha ha ha, laugh and stuff, even, just kind of playing around.
Everybody
So
just like jokes each other around, yeah. We had cup jail for a while. Did you ever hear about cup jail?
No.
Yeah, no, everyone messes with everybody there. And so if you leave your like I always have like a reusable water cup with me. And if you ever leave your cup in one of the booths, because they'll have cup holders in them, if you ever leave your cup in a booth, it goes into cup jail. And there was a box up front that had like slots in it for cup jail, and I had one, and Rico had one, and there were a couple of other people, and Rico took a picture of it, and he was like, "Kristi, we've been put in jail." And so Funimation, like the vibe there was always so playful and fun. I loved it. And in the new Crunchyroll studios, it's really fun too. It's just they just moved in, so there's not as much like personality in the building yet, but it's getting there. Like especially now that they're starting to like let more and more people inside the building, because it still kind of felt like a ghost town before they started getting more and more employees in there and like starting like getting more people in the studio. And oh my god, that's the most chaotic, evil, and wonderful thing I've ever seen.
That is awesome, HH.
I need to find somebody that I really dislike and put that on them, because that just seems so mean. And I love it.
I don't know if I want to say what I did to my high school teacher my senior year as a prank.
I'm all down for a good prank.
When I worked fast food, I was a supervisor working fast food, and the high school kids, because we had the soda fountain, and everybody had the little tiny disposable cups, and everyone would take a cup, write their name on it, and if they left it somewhere where and then walked away, somebody would take it and refill it and do dumb shit.
Oh god.
And basically, like if they left a half a cup of like Coke, somebody would put something else in it. like harmless, stupid pranks.
Right.
One
of the best, it wasn't a prank because it was done entirely with pure intentions. And so, gosh, my bangs are like so crooked. That's why I've been messing with them. I'm like, there's supposed to be a point, not a castle wall here. But anyway, so whenever I was in the hospital, there was a fellow there who he was pretty heavily on the spectrum, but like he had a heart of gold. And so that's what made this so funny, is that it wasn't a prank. It was just him being extraordinarily nice, which was he asked the guy sitting next to us at the cafeteria, like, "Hey, do you want more Dr. Pepper?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, dude, thanks." And what he does, and again, he was doing exactly what the guy asked him to do, which was get him more Dr. Pepper. And it was done with such purity of the heart that I was like dying on the inside, laughing, trying not to laugh at this happening, but I watched it unfold. And so what this guy does is he's like, "Okay, cool." And like pours his old Dr. Pepper in and like gives it to him, and then goes and refills his cup. And I'm like, that is the best prank to pull on somebody, is just ask them if they want more soda, pour your old soda in and hand it back, and then go get new soda. And I was like, that is brilliant. And like, what made it even funnier to me is because he did exactly what the guy wanted him to, which was get him more soda. So it was like he was doing it so purely of the heart, and that's what made it so funny to me, which was that like to him he was just like, "Cool, awesome, this is how it's like gonna be." And I'm just like, I love that. I loved that, seeing that interaction. And the guy was super nice. He was like, thank you. So it was a really wonderful thing to see. Oh, that guy was so fun. It was he was one of those people who made like the hospital stay very, very fun, because he was sweet person. But yeah, speaking of pranks though, I had a coworker that anytime he was away from his desk, even if he was like taking a quick pee break, I would always sneak into his office and hit caps lock. And like it got to the point where like I know it had to have been driving him crazy, because he started closing his laptop, but I just would open his laptop and hit caps lock again. I'm like, you know these things open, right, buddy? You ain't stopping me. And then we tried to see how many paper clips we could stab in his ceiling before he noticed.
That reminds me, days, one of my previous office jobs, there was only like 8 of us, period. And there were 2 guys that got along. They were both huge soccer fans, but they were fans of rival teams. So they would always troll each other. And one of them I shared an office with. So one day I get there and this guy's basically messing with my office mate's computer. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just changing the background. Don't say anything. And he put the wrong soccer team's logo as the background. To the point where he leaves. I just go about my business, not paying attention. And then my office mate comes in, turns on the computer, and just the reaction was just priceless. And I'm trying not to laugh hysterically.
I mean, that is pretty good, though.
What I did to my teacher, because I went to a vocational school in Massachusetts, and I was in the automotive program. And our automotive instructor was known for bringing a big thermos of coffee.
Uh-huh.
Somebody brought in X-Lax pills.
Oh, no.
My job was to figure out how to put the pills in a freshly poured cup of coffee into the cap of the thermos while somebody else distracted him.
Oh, God.
So I went over to our alignment rack and took a hammer and crushed up the pills into a powder form and put them in my hand and kind of gave a little nod to the other people that were involved in the joke. And they called him over to a car they were working on. So right after he poured his cup. Saw him pour the coffee into the cap, set it down. They called him over. So he put the cap down, walked over. I walked by just kind of little in, and I kept walking by like nothing had happened.
Uh-huh.
He comes back and drinks, his coffee. About 40 minutes later, the related instructor comes out of the classroom and goes, "Where's Mr. So-and-so?" It's like, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. He goes, "All right, what'd you guys do?"
Oh, no, that's dangerous. I'm glad he was okay.
And we're like, somebody put X-Lax in his coffee. He goes, "You guys are horrible." Started laughing, went back into the related room, didn't even say anything. He just laughed his ass off.
Oh, gosh, that's terrible. Oh, my goodness.
But it was a good crew of people in there. And like I said, it was our senior prank, so it was harmless.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I was going to say, I wouldn't advise giving anyone medication that they probably don't need, but hey, as long as he turned out okay, then I'm all right with that.
He was just in the bathroom for an extended stay.
All right. By the way, I like your hat. I just noticed what it said.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
it's super cute.
Got the ears.
Oh, that's adorable.
I saw it the other day. That. I saw one actually yesterday. The same hat without the ears. I'm like, no, I'm so happy I bought.
No, you gotta have the ears on it.
I saw this hat for over a year, deliberated on whether or not to buy it, and finally I was like, I need this.
That's how I weed out impulse buys. Like if I really want something, I'll like let it sit in my Amazon cart for a couple of days. And then if I'm like still thinking like, okay, I want that, then I'll like maybe buy it. But like my rule is like, don't buy it instantly, cook on it for a little bit and then buy it. And you said you waited on that one for a good while. And so that's like always my rule of thumb as far as shopping goes, is like, don't buy it instantly, cook on it, and you'll save yourself a ton of money. And
I did pass on this figure at Anime Boston. I know I probably paid a little bit more from the shop that I bought it from, but A, it's a local shop. B, we're friends with the owners of the shop, Black Knight Anime Games and More in Essex Junction, Vermont. So if you're ever up there, check them out. Val is an amazing person. She used to run Bakuretsu-Con in Colchester, Vermont, which is the convention my wife and I actually met at. Mm-hmm. So we've known her for many years. And I would rather support her and pay a few bucks more on a figure than finding it cheaper on Amazon or supporting a big business.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm gonna go refill my water.
Oh, go right ahead. So Kristi will be right back. We're having a lot of fun talking with Kristi Rothrock, amazing voice actress with Funimation, Crunchyroll, however they want to be called now. Interesting thing that I picked up from, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about last weekend from NocoCon, went to the panel with Leah Clark and Elizabeth Maxwell, and they kept correcting themselves from saying Funimation to Crunchyroll. So I'm not sure if saying Funimation voice actors is appropriate anymore, or
I think that's going to vary actor to actor.
I think so. And it's definitely a lot of getting used to for a lot of anime fans to be switching over from Funimation to Crunchyroll.
Yep.
I do love, somebody at Crunchyroll has a lot of fun when they put groupings of animes together. Like the one that I showed before that had a really long title for all the animes that had really long titles.
Oh, God.
Oh, it was hysterical. I sent you that picture, didn't I?
Maybe.
If not, I can again. But it was, if I can find it here.
God.
Yeah, I just sent it to you. And the title says the original light novel's name, it was way too long, so the English title had to be changed in order to somewhat fit the character limit. That was the category. Of course, shows that were on the list included Problem Children Are Coming from Another World, Aren't They? World End, What Are You Doing at the End of the World? Are You Busy? Will You Save Us? Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs. Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life? I couldn't become a hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job. So, the longer titles were included in that one. I just saw that and laughed hysterically. I think my wife had sent me a picture of one that said Children Trying Not to Die was another category. So, and welcome back, Kristi.
Hello. Yeah, speaking of going to sleep terribly, it is actually time to take my sleep medication, but don't worry, they take like an hour to kick in, so I'm not going to be like right in the middle of the stream or anything. Although that might make for great entertainment.
We'll put subliminal messages in there. Get more guests for AZR.
Send more people our way.
Which, in all honesty, if you have friends in the VO world that you think would have fun on the show, feel free to have them reach out to us. We're always looking for more guests, especially up-and-comers. Mm-hmm. I love finding the fresh faces of the anime community to bring on,
which is phenomenal. I love that. I'm so glad that you do that. And it's really nice because I obviously mean no shade whatsoever towards any of the heavy hitters in the anime industry because they work their butts off to be there. And so I have nothing against them and they deserve everything they've gotten. But at the same time, it is really nice to have kind of a light that also shines on the people who haven't had so much time in the industry or who haven't had as harder, the harder hitting roles and stuff like that. And so I really appreciate you do this because I think that's really cool and it's awesome. So thank you.
And it's been fun for me through the years of finding new voice actors, because I listen to sub and dub, obviously, and being able to hear, up and coming voice actors that really impact. When you've watched anime for over a decade, you hear a lot. There are a lot of voice actors whose voices are very familiar. Mm-hmm. You can pick out Todd Haberkorn. You can pick out Monica Rial. You can pick out Tatum in many cases, or Greg Ayers.
Yeah, or Sabat. Yeah,
Sabat, Brina Palencia, Brittany Karbowski. Mm-hmm. But there's always times when I hear a voice, I'm like, who is that? I don't know that voice. And then that makes me want to seek them out because they have interested me in the way that they portrayed a character, whether I enjoyed the character or I enjoyed the voice acting of the role. And then it's like, okay, I need to find out who voiced this character and see if I can get them on the show. And a lot of times I find out they've had less than 5 named roles to their career. And it's like, Your work is amazing. We want you on the show. We want people to know what you do. It's like,
well, thank you. That means a lot. And I'm sure that means a lot too to the others that you've had on the show, because again, it's really nice to excuse me, also be given a platform such as this and an opportunity to just be like, talk anime and talk the industry and talk about what's up and what's going on in our lives and stuff, because we just don't have a ton of opportunity to do that and do panels and stuff, because we aren't as prolific in conventions, and we haven't had as many heavy hitting roles as like the bigger names and stuff like that. And so like I said, I'm so appreciative of you always having me on, because I like that y'all do that. I like that you try to like be all inclusive as far as like your guests and stuff goes. That's really awesome.
And what were you gonna say, Ange?
One of the things I'm noticing more and more is the amount of overlap between anime voice actors and video game voice acting.
Oh yeah. Tons. I voice video games. Like I voiced Two Skins in Smite.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really killer. No, video games pay well. First off, they pay really well. Second is that they're different, but depending on the game, not as different as you would think. Because let's say if it's something like Genshin, then it's going to require anime type reads. Because it's kind of a it's got the anime look to it. But for instance, like Smite does not require anime reads at all. And so, and also I don't have to match mouth movements whenever I do video games. And so, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I have like a frog in my throat or something. Whenever you do video games, you have to do the lines still, but you have to do them like several different times, because let's say Link climbing up on a ledge, he's not going to make the exact same sound every single time. There's going to be like 30 different sounds. So one time it might be "hut," and another time it might be "hut." And you have to do that for video games too. So for Smite, we have like at least 2 reads on each one. Out of mana. And so you have to give them several reads of each. But the cool part is you don't have to worry about matching any mouth movements. All you have to do is fit a time slot, which is like, okay, you have 2 seconds to say out of mana. Okay, I can do that. But video games pay really well, and also commercial stuff pays really well. And you'd be surprised how many anime voice actors have actually voiced commercials and you don't even know it. I know Chris Waycamp did a dog food commercial a while back, and I was like, bro, you made me want that dog food. Like, you sold it well. I know if you go into Best Buy and you look at some of the Samsung tablets, if you go into like their little demo reel type things that show you the specs of the product, that's me. I do the Samsung reels, so I'm annoying Best Buy employees across the nation. That Nebraska Furniture Mart. So you'd be surprised at how many non-anime roles crop up. I know Megan Shipman, she was the Chili's robot at least one location, the little serving robot that would go between tables. She voiced the Chili's robot or the Applebee's robot. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover as far as voice acting goes, even if we're not necessarily credited for it. Like for instance, the Samsung thing, I can talk about it, but it's not like there's a credits for the Samsung thing. It's just something that you never really think who's behind that sort of thing. Who's saying, introducing the Samsung Galaxy Tab S5e. You don't think about who's saying that. And then it's great because like you hear this professional voice and then it pops up and then you see me and I'm like, hey, what's up guys? Like, let's party. And I'm like totally different from what you would expect whenever you think of somebody selling a professional Samsung product. Because it feels like personal and being a structured environment, like a panel.
Yeah, AJH says that he enjoys the format of the show because it's a lot more personal. Like I said, I like to keep it, and I've told every guest that comes on that we try to keep it laid back. It's just friends having a conversation that people can tune in on and be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in my house. Like, welcome home to my home. Like,
welcome to my home.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about it. It's very laid back.
Disregard the cat behind Maple back there on the shelf.
Oh, I just noticed Kitty. Aww.
Yeah, the cat that's back here, that's actually a tissue dispenser.
I love it.
You pull the tissues out of its butt. It was an impulse buy at an antique shop. It was $7. If you were to buy it brand new, it would have cost over $40.
It's illegal to not take that offer.
Exactly.
It would be illegal.
Nope,
I saved $33 by buying it at an antique shop, and there was nothing wrong with it.
And speaking of the Samsung commercial,
slick.
Mario says he thinks he might have come across that specific Samsung commercial.
Nice. If it was on TV, I don't know that it was me. All I know is that I do like the demo reels on the products, but if they put me on TV, heck yeah, put me there too. I don't care. Put me everywhere.
And if I'm correct, Mario is not in the U.S. Mario, I think, lives in the UK. So he's one of our awesome international listeners that tunes in on a regular basis.
That's killer. It's funny you mentioned that because my boyfriend is from England, and they said that they still have the American Samsung demos there. So it would not surprise me if Mario has heard it.
Which
go
means
ahead.
I'll have to. Which means when we finally do make it to London, I'll have to ping him. But
question from the chat. Scott Tia wants to know, what's your favorite Ilulu line?
It's about tiny hands. Look. I have a feeling you just wanted to hear me say that. Yeah, ball of tiny hands and pretty much just
Everything she does.
Yeah, honestly, like when she's talking about her flame sacks and she's so innocent about it, she's like, do you want to hold them? Because it just proves like how innocent, because they are her flame sacks. Like that's what glows whenever she breathes fire. And so, yeah, that's like, she finally realizes what they do to Take, but she doesn't fully realize what they are to humans. And so that's why she asked the little girl, like, hey, do you want to hold them? Because she's just like, yeah, they're my flame sacks. They're so strong they can hold fire. And like, that's what they are to her. But you know what they look like to everybody else, including Take.
And you mentioned Megan Shipman. We want to take a moment to wish her and her husband a happy anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary to them.
Because their anniversary was also yesterday, and the reason that I know this is they got married the same day my wife and I did, same day, month, and year.
Oh, nice. They'll have the exact same anniversary.
So I did send a happy anniversary to Megan yesterday, remembering that. And she likes to say that our wedding was cooler than hers, but I don't know.
I don't know. You described a pretty darn cool wedding whenever you did.
Angela's always like, I can't compete with that wedding wise, but the proposal was great.
Oh.
Also,
my
thank you, Mario, for saying that it made you laugh.
You were saying, Angela?
No, I just
apologize.
Stories, we have them.
Of your wedding day?
My wedding was actually very, very small. And then what we did, we lived in a larger house before this one, and we just had a giant house party and invited all of our friends.
Killer. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's awesome. Because your wedding day is supposed to be exactly what you want, And if that's what you wanted, that's what you wanted, and that's awesome. Same with you, You wanted to, wear exactly what you wanted on your wedding day, so you did. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it personal to you.
Get married at a con because that's where we felt comfortable. That's our people.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I got married in the Boston Public Gardens, and then it was almost exclusively family, and then we just, because both of us have Italian upbringings, a giant family dinner at an Italian restaurant.
That's awesome. That sounds killer.
So when we get ready to have, I think our 10-year anniversary, we want to do something big. we'll throw you out the invite, Kristi, so you can come up and join us.
Oh my gosh, I'd love that.
One of the things we would love to do is we'd love to have the money to have Greg Ayers DJ.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure how much he would charge for that, but we'd love to have him because I know how much music means to him and everything. And
yeah,
miss the raves that they used to have at Anime Boston that he used to put on and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. That would be killer. Yeah, if you do your 10th or whatever, and if you're doing anything like going to a con or anything like that, I'll see what I can do. That'd be pretty fun.
And it's always fun having you on because I feel like you said, I've always felt like I'm just chatting with a good friend. And I really appreciate that you take the time to come on and hang out with us for a couple hours because it's a big time commitment. And I really do, appreciate that you enjoy coming on and hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I love doing this. Like, it's so chill. It's such an easy time. And yeah, it's like I was just telling my boyfriend before this about how, like, it was just such a no pressure, like, easy to come on show because like you're just a good dude to talk to, and so like you're super chill. It's a relaxed environment and everything, and so I love that about being here. And so like I said, I feel the same way. I feel like, hey, yeah, just like I'm so glad that you consider me like a friend of the show because yeah, that's kind of what it feels like at this point. We've been on call so many times. It's like awesome, this rules. Like I get to ask you about your wife and everything and all that. Say what?
So now we just need to get to a con and hang out.
I know, right? That's the next step. That's the next level up right there.
Yes.
So all of my friends who have conventions in the New England area,
I'll have a rose print and I'll have it signed, ready to go.
Because Rose was fantastic. I think that's a show, Angela, you would like. I think you would like Combatants Will Be Dispatched.
It's so funny.
I don't know that one.
It is so funny. Be ready for the wrongest, best humor ever. It is so good.
I don't remember if it's isekai or not. I don't think it is.
It's semi-isekai. Because Agent 6 works for an evil corporation, but they send him to a planet that is not anything like his. So yes, it's an isekai, as in it's a guy in a foreign world that he's only thrown into, but no, because this is not a foreign thing happening within the universe of the show. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, they're like constantly sending people out to new foreign planets, and so he's just the next victim of that.
All right.
And so, yeah.
Mario, my watch list is ridiculous.
Yes, Angela, get on that like now.
My watch list is already ridiculous. There's so much stuff we have to, because we literally have all the streaming apps and we have watch lists on all of them.
Combatants Will Be Dispatched was very good, and it was written by the same author that wrote Konosuba, so there's some similar humor between the two of them. I compare Rose to Megaman.
I've heard they're very similar.
What was that, Andrew? You cut out for a second there.
But again,
but I as much as I love Megaman, I think I like Rose more because Rose is just a cuter character.
Oh, she was so much fun to play.
I just wish I could find a figure of Rose. I would buy that in an instant.
If I ever find a figure of Rose, I'm totally snatching that thing up because she was so much fun. The problem, I've been trying to get a commission a print of her, but the problem with that is that all the artists that I've found that I really, really like their style and that I would want for Rose, it's like they're so booked with commissions already. I'm just like, no. And so I'm trying to find an artist that fits the style of Rose that I want, and that's also not booked solid because they're awesome, not the ones that aren't booked aren't awesome or anything like that. Yeah. It's just, you get what I'm saying. It's
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And Mario is agreeing with you guys that that's a good comparison.
And this is, if you know Show by Rock, this is Ooey Ooey from, what was the name of the band? It's one of the bands that
I
my
know
wife
of
really
Show
likes.
by Rock. I've only seen a couple of episodes, but I love the premise.
But this is my wife's artwork. She drew this
Aww.
to have signed by Susie Young at Anime
Oh.
Boston.
That's awesome.
So if you want to check out her work, she doesn't have any commissions currently. She is revamping her art style and everything, and really focusing on getting back into tabling and doing Artist Alley again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I follow her on Instagram actually.
So feel free to reach out to her if you'd like to. Raging
for
Signal
sure.
was the name of the band.
Oh, okay.
She's still awake, so she can hear me screw up and then sends me the messages to correct me. And HH in the chat says, I've been reading so much that I'm finding out that many of the newer animes, I've already read the manga to the point that I can't remember if I've read it. There is so many shows out there. Do you read manga as well, or?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I usually don't, just because like serialized manga, I just don't have the space or money for it. If I can, I'll buy it on like Kindle or something like that. But one thing that I absolutely have a weakness for, and I have an entire shelf on my bookshelf dedicated to this, and I reread them all the time, is all my Junji Ito books. And so as far as manga goes, like that's the artist that I'm just like, oh my god, new Junji Ito book, I have to buy it now. And like go ahead, I'm sorry.
There is an app, Viz Media. That's a lot of I don't know if it's Shonen Jump exclusive, but
I see.
But that's what my husband has. It's another inexpensive subscription, but it's access to literally all of their manga.
And see, that's cool. I'm not like opposed to paying a subscription. I just know having hard copies of manga is like is so hard to keep around and so hard to keep buying. It's
an expensive hobby, that's for sure.
I'm a book nerd. I feel this so hard because I have an entire bookcase that is about 95% mine from and it's mostly hard. This case is mostly hardcovers because
as I bumped, it was my turn to bump the computer desk and have stuff go flying.
It's all good. I mean, I need a new computer desk anyway. My computer desk is actually a card table that I bought when I was poor in college and then just never upgraded. At this point, though, I'm going to be moving soon, so I'm just like, whatever. I'll kick the card table whenever I go.
No, I did that. My computer desk for quite some time was a folding table, and I just got sick and tired of it and decided to splurge and buy myself an actual desk.
That's just what I need to do. I've got a really great desk for my actual computer. Like, it's sturdy, but the computer monitor is on a folding table, and you know how those work. I mean, they start getting a divot in the middle after years, and so like I'm having to like stack stuff underneath my keyboard so that it doesn't go whenever I type. Like, it's getting bad, and so like this card table is not moving with me, and so it served its purpose, but it's done now.
Now, one question that comes to mind, and we've found that a lot of voice actors have gotten into tabletop gaming and RPGs and stuff like that. Is that an interest of yours as well, or?
Yes. The only problem, again, same with anime, same with a lot of reading, is just time. I mean, like I said, I've got a bunch of jobs. And that's not a flex. It's a mistake. That's what it is. But
just to put gas in the car.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of necessary whenever you're trying to save up a bunch of money. But anyway, so yeah, it's just another thing that I just don't have a ton of time for. But shoot, lost my train of thought. Sorry, that happens a lot. I start talking about something else.
I know the
getting
feeling.
into what was it? You asked if I was getting into any
RPGs, gaming.
That's right.
Dungeons and Dragons style stuff.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Gosh, anyway. No, I've played one shots several times, which are my jam because they only take a short amount of time. They only take an evening evening and a half rather than like weeks of a D&D campaign. So pretty much right now I'm just limited to one shots and only ones that take like a day. And I've played one shots before and I love creating characters and stories and their motivations and stuff. It's so much fun. But again, it all boils down to time. Now, as far as video games go, I have been playing an embarrassing amount of Hades still. I probably mention it every time I come on the stream because I just can't stop playing that game. I looked the other day, I have 215 hours booked on it. I played a lot of Hades.
I'm not going to say anything because during the pandemic, before I reset my island on Animal Crossing, I was at 400 plus hours played.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
For me, Hades, I enjoyed watching my husband play. Because I love the source material.
And I love the art style and the voice acting's great.
But it's a roguelike, and I just don't enjoy that kind of game.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't typically like roguelike either. It's a roguelite. And so I was able to deal with it a lot better because even dying wasn't as much of a punishment because you got to keep some of your upgrades and stuff.
For me, it was more of a if there's no ending per se, then what's the point?
There is an ending. And there is
yes
a point.
And no.
Because has he 100% of the game?
I don't know.
I was going to say, because there is an ending.
There is, but then you can continue to go back and do it again.
Well, yeah, because that's when it gets fun, because then you're OP and you just get to slice and dice through the underworld.
Whereas the game my almost 200-hour game is the more recent Assassin's Creed games.
See, those are the games that I can't get into. We're completely the opposite. It's so interesting because, Assassin's Creed games, they've never called to me or anything like that. Those are the kind of games that I'm not just super duper into. RPGs like Assassin's Creed or even JRPGs, I'm not super into. But I do.
Is kind of my jam.
Say what?
Final Fantasy is kind of my jam.
Yeah, and see, I never got into that, but I do love Zelda and stuff like that because I was raised on Nintendo, which is probably why I wasn't a huge Final Fantasy fan, is because whenever Final Fantasy really started cooking and getting popular, that's whenever it was over on the PlayStation. Because I knew the originals came out on Nintendo, but I never owned any of them. I did own Secret of Mana, though, and that was a freaking fun game. My roommates and I beat that one.
I did not grow up with video games, so when I moved out of my parents' house, I bought a PS2, and one of the first games I played start to finish and beat was Final Fantasy X.
That's amazing. I love that. I was actually going through my video game collection earlier today. Y'all, I'm going to knock my stuff around again because check this out. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself. Look what I found today.
I think you have an idea where I was going when I asked that question.
Oh, yeah.
See if she wants to join us for the playtest.
I figured that's where that was going.
Because I think she would be a lot of fun for that.
I agree.
And I don't know what she found, but she was excited.
Video game nonsense.
In a Sleeve. The original gold NES Zelda cartridge.
Man, I wish I still had mine.
Condition.
That is probably worth bank.
Probably so. But my mom bought this, so I would never consider selling it without her prior consent. But at the same time, I'm like, this is almost too cool to sell. It's a relic, and it still works. Like, I just found all of my old Nintendo 64 games, and I also have the gold cartridge of Majora's Mask and stuff. I'm like, dang, girl, like, Like, but that's the thing, is my mom loves Zelda, and so she was the one that pre-ordered all the gold cartridges. And so all the gold Zelda cartridges we have are because my mom really loved the games. And so I grew up with video games ever since I was a little kid, obviously, because, you know, like I said, we got the gold cartridges of Zelda.
I have
I'm gonna
that
go put
one
this
as
away.
well.
Oh, killer. I love that.
And Scott Dia in the chat says Final Fantasy X is a bomb game. Love it. In fact, my wife, I bought that for her for the Switch, and so she was actually playing that today. I was watching her play that because it was a combination FF10 and 10-2.
Yep. 10 is one of my 10 is one of my favorites.
9 is the only one I've beat start to finish.
But no.
I enjoyed Final Fantasy 9. That was the only Final Fantasy I beat start to finish.
9 I haven't finished, but I think I hit a brick wall.
If you think about it, I didn't know what cosplay was at the time, but Zidane Tribal from Final Fantasy IX technically would be my first ever cosplay, even though I did it for Halloween.
I think that was everyone's first cosplay, was Halloween.
And I'm talking about Final Fantasy X and 10-2. 10 is beautiful, 10-2, meh.
See?
Now, one reason I asked you about the RPGs and like Dungeons and Dragons stuff is we actually are going to be doing a live play test of a game that a friend of mine has created July 24th. And we're trying to reach out to some people to see if they want to be a part of that.
Oh, sweet. What day is this?
It's going to be Sunday, July 24th, starting at 8 p.m. So same time we normally start the show. It's going to be live streamed right here on an actual broadcast. He has it play tested to where it will last between 2 to 3 hours.
I probably can't make it to that one because I'm an old lady and I go to bed early on Sundays because I have to wake up at like 4:45 in the morning. And so I probably wouldn't be able to stay awake for that, but I do appreciate the invite. I am interested. If you ever have an earlier one or anything like that, yeah.
I could see about moving it. I could see about moving it up like an hour or so to see if it would
don't
end
do
about
that on
10.
my account if that's the case. It's really not a big deal, but
it would not just be for you. I'm still on get up at 5 a.m. schedule as well. I just recognize that I won't sleep.
Yeah. Sleep. It's for the dead. Who needs it?
Yeah,
Who needs it?
That's what I say. You know, we're working 60-hour work weeks. I'm like, I might get 6 hours of sleep a night that I go work till 11, you know, come home and have to unwind for an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. The unwind time is really, really important. And people don't realize that. It's like, I can't just come home and go to bed. Like if I work a night shift, like if I have to do something really late at the radio station or something, it's not like I'm just walking in the door and I'm just like in bed. I have to like unwind with a puzzle or something like that, you know, draw some.
And I know I've asked this before, but do you mix your voice acting career with the radio show? Do you talk about roles that you've done or talk about some of the anime side of things?
I do. Yeah, actually I do. I talk about whenever I was doing auditions in my house, I talk about how my neighbors probably think I'm a maniac screaming in my house. And then, you know, I talk about some of the characters that I've done. Whenever my character debuted on Adult Swim for Dragon Ball, I know that I posted about it on our radio station Facebook page and I gassed it up on the air because it's Dragon Ball, fam. Like, I'm going to blast that everywhere, any place I can. And so I decided to put that. But yeah, I do talk about like going in and recording and just getting to have all sorts of fun. And it was great. Actually, there's a fellow that I work with at the radio station named Michael. And currently my voice acting mobile booth is in the back of the radio station. Now, it's sound treated really well to the point that any sound inside of it doesn't reflect. And so it sounds good with my mic, but it doesn't block out sound from coming out. And so I was doing an audition the other day that had a lot of like roaring and battle cries and screaming and big attacks. And my coworker, who isn't in the office, like almost ever because he's always out on the road, like he's our like video guy, And he comes in and he's like, what is happening in the back of the building? Like, who is back there? Do I need to call somebody? And he was freaking out. He was like panicking because he didn't realize it was me back there just shrieking up a storm. And I always tell my boss, because the place that I do it is like shares a wall with my boss's office. So I'm like, yo, just tell me if you have a meeting and I won't scream. Like, so, you know, I talk about that on the air and stuff, because I mean, stuff like that is genuinely, you know, I loved telling stories like that. Anything that can, like, you know, make people laugh at me a little bit, then I'm good with that.
I think that's an interesting side of things, especially for us. You know, we enjoy entertaining others no matter how stupid we look.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've always made it a goal, especially since starting the show, that anywhere I've worked, every day my goal is to have somebody walk away shaking their head going, what in the hell is wrong with him? If I can do that, mission accomplished. And
this is why we get along. This is why we get along.
We have a new guy that just started in the office at the dealership I work at. And the other day I said something to him and he just looked at me and he goes, what the hell is wrong with you?
And you're like, yes.
And he walked away to go back to the office. I'm like, mission accomplished.
My favorite thing to do is whenever we get like real stuffy people coming in, like maybe people who are like running for local politics or something, and you can tell they're just like all up their own butts and they're trying to be Mr. Serious. Anytime I'm on the air with them, I introduce them like they're basketball players. And so I'm just like, and we've got the president of, well, like I'm always doing that, and I can tell they hate it, and it makes me laugh every time. Which I was actually just telling my boyfriend earlier today about how I use my broadcast skills regularly in voice acting, because Jerry Jewell, he is a wonderful, wonderful person to work with. He's so funny and he's such a dry humored kind of guy. And anytime there is a news announcer in any of his shows, he calls me in. And he goes, one of these days, everyone's going to find out my big secret that all my news announcers sound the same, but that hasn't happened yet. So come on in. So it was, I'm always in for news announcers. But yeah, the other day I was, my niece was making like a little personal pizza and sprinkling all the cheese. And I was narrating it like it was a sports event. And so I used my broadcast training in many facets of my life.
Have you ever wanted to go through like a drive-through and use one of your characters just to like pull up to a Taco Bell as Ilulu?
I don't want to be that guy, because like the problem is like the fast food employees already have a
bad job.
It's not a bad job. I worked in food service. It's not a bad job. The people that come through make it bad. And I don't want to make anyone's job harder by putting on like silly voices. And I always feel bad doing that. Now, if they're like excited and they know it's me or something, like I would do that. You're like, hey, is this the girl that plays a Lulu? If they for some reason knew, I would order in character voice just for fun. But I'm never going to like force that on anybody. But I will say,
someone who spent too long in a drive-through window, I spent way too many years doing that. I used to love some of the silliness, good-natured silliness, as opposed to someone doing it to be an asshole, and you could tell.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So
But, like,
this is my debit card cover. I've got a Lulu on my debit card.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And then my my round one card that I have. Round one. Oh man, I've had some great memories at round one. No, one of my round one cards on it has Kareen from The Ones Within, and it just says "Get Bent," and so I love that. Handing my card to somebody that just says "Get Bent" on it is one of life's small joys.
HH joining the humor, and here in this corner we have a number 9 with extra cheese and no pickles.
Yes, perfect.
And,
there's probably a story behind that, but we won't pry. Which
all of them.
I will say that I did have fun at a Wendy's once. Granted, I'm not a voice actor, but I did use an anime character's name for my order because at
Perfect.
Wendy's they ask you for your name, and so I said Issei from High School DxD.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Can you spell that?" I said, "Sure, ISSEI." Now, mind you, I'm wearing my work uniform from Sullivan Tire, the place I was working at the time, and it had my name on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it say Doug on the
It
front?
said Doug right on there, and I gave him the name Issei. And so they typed in ISSEI. And I'm standing there waiting for my order.
Hey, no, you might be wearing Doug's outfit. Like, you might have
Exactly.
knocked Doug out and, like, taken his clothes, like in a spy movie.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching him bag the order, and I know it's my order because I can see everything going in. And I watch the person pick up the receipt, look at the name, and go, "I'm not even going to attempt this one."
Oh, no.
I was like, "Oh, that's probably mine."
That's me in the recording booth. Anytime there's somebody that's got like a really complicated name that has like a tapped R in it, I'm like, really? Come on. And it's like so hard to say some of them. Like, I'm just like, okay, like Ren, R-E-N, Ren, super common anime character name. I played a character named Ren. It's two. Actually, I played Rin in After School Dice Club, and I also played Rin Zen. So that one's a really common one. I'm like, let's name all the anime characters Rin, because I cannot say Ryuin over and over and over again without sounding like I'm just have a mouthful of peanut butter. And that's my like horrible thing that I need to get better at, is just practicing the way the Japanese say names, because that will make my job so much easier. And up until this point, I've had plenty of practice in the booth, but I just need to get even better at it, because it's going to do nothing but help me. And nobody wants to hammer out a line 1,000 times just because I can't get the dang name right.
And I forgot about After School Dice Club. That was a great show.
It was so cute. And also all the games were like real and fun.
And that's another one that I told you about, Angela, that you would like, because it's about tabletop gaming, which is one of your big things.
Yes.
Well, and also all the games that they play are like real games, and they'll tell you the real rules of them. So you can like go out and buy the games they play.
And there's one of the characters even goes into how she's designing her own tabletop game.
Mm-hmm. And I think Maddie Morris is the lead of that, and she does a great job. Maddie just always crushes it anyways. So yeah, I mean, there's no question about that.
That's what I would love to do at a convention, is just get people together from that we've had on the show and just do one big giant game.
I would love that. That would be such a blast.
I think it would be like I know that Danny Chambers loves doing like the tabletop RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons style stuff. Mm-hmm. Anthony Bowling has expressed interest in doing that.
Same.
And I think Matt Mercer is another one that does that.
Oh God, yeah, he's fully into tabletop.
Critical Role.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
Yeah, exactly. Matt Mercer is like the king of voice actor tabletop.
we haven't gotten him on the show yet, but we'd always love to have him on. I know Ange would be excited to talk to him.
That would be amazing. And he probably does not remember the instant I met him.
I was at a A-Con with him once. He was a guest there too. And it was Sunday, and I'm not gonna lie, everybody was hungover. And we were all just having breakfast, and it was like a charity breakfast. And he goes up to the mic and right at noon, and he's like, "I've got something to say to everybody." And we were all just like, "We know it's coming." And so of course he said the line, and everybody was like, "He said the line." It was really fun. How can it not be noon at a convention and him not say that,
I met him by accident at a Colossal Con before Overwatch was a thing.
Oh, really?
I ended up ended up basically going to his panel because the person I was with wanted to go to the panel, and I didn't know who he was. I got told he did one of the voices for some Resident Evil game, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then later on, we're all in the hot tub because it's Colossal Con. That's kind of what the point of the con is. And everybody's drunk. And I'm with the friends I'm staying with. And she's like, that's Matt Mercer. And I'm like, I met him. I was at his panel earlier. And he remembered who I was because I had my big giant Yang wig. And there's a picture of me, my friend, and Matt Mercer all drunk in the hot tub from that year's Colossal Con.
Yeah, those like chance meetings are always the most fun sometimes.
And then Critical Role happened, and Overwatch happened, and now playing Overwatch, people, you play with people online. They're like, "Oh, can I add you on Facebook?" Yeah, whatever. And then someone found that picture, and like everyone like lost their shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, that just happened."
Hi, Dottie. You come to put your 2 cents in also.
And the chance meetings, Anime Boston, my wife was dressed as Hibiki from How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift.
Oh, yes, that show is so cute.
She got asked for one photo because she only cosplayed for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
And only one person asked her for her photo. It was Brittany Lotta, who's like, oh my God, my best friend Madeline voiced her.
Aww.
So the one person who asked for her photograph was Brittany Lotta, who's friends with the voice actress of Hibiki.
Testify, Dottie.
The
Sorry,
next-
I have a vocal cat.
Oh, that's okay.
No, Doug keeps telling me he's going to get Megan Schiffman back on the show, and then I have to tell Megan Schiffman that I built Maple as a D&D character for a one-shot battle royale. Because that's just the crazy things I've done.
And Maple. Good God, Megan's been really busy with a lot of shows and stuff going on. So hopefully we can get her back on the show again soon. Always fun chatting with Megan as well. But Kristi, I know we're just about out of time. I want to thank you so much again for coming on and hanging out with us. For all the fans out there who want to get to know more about you, more about your career, and what shows you're doing right now, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter. It's at grandpa_trout, spelled exactly as you would expect. Dottie. Oh, sorry, baby. Spelled exactly as it sounds, grandpa_trout. And then also on Instagram, LETZ_shake. If you just Google the enemies from No More Heroes 1, you'll find Let's Shake and you'll know how it's spelled. So LETZ_shake. Those are pretty much the 2 places I am most active. And yeah, so those are the 2 places that you can find me the most. And also, I just wanted to give a quick shout out because, I've been talking about my boyfriend this whole time. It's actually Scott Diaz. So I just wanted to say that. He popped in the chat and I was like, ow. But anyway, I just didn't want to not acknowledge that. But anyway, no, it's been great being on the show again. And again, I love coming on the show and I really appreciate you having me. And it's been great just chatting back and forth.
Oh yeah, maybe at some point we'll have you on. We'll just talk paranormal nonsense.
Yes, let's talk about haunted houses and all the places we've been.
Around Halloween, I'll get an email from her being like, just call into my radio show and we'll talk spooky stuff there.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Because there's actually, if you for whatever reason ever find yourself in in Oklahoma around October, there's actually an old Civil War fort that they do ghost tours in. And that place is like cursed. Like seriously, it was like an old Civil War battleground. Like they used the fort in battle. And there's some insane places around there.
Sounds like Gettysburg type area.
Yeah, there's like a cemetery and everything around there.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Too many road trips.
I know, right? Too many haunted places, Dad Burnett. Although I will say one place that I really want to go is the Winchester Mansion.
That's on my bucket list, as is Waverly Hills.
Yes.
Okay.
I need it in my life.
Also, Eastern States Penitentiary, the haunted jail in Philadelphia. I would love to go.
Doug, watch the thing I showed you, because Rooster Teeth actually did a thing with that, and one of the ones they went to is the penitentiary.
Send me the link again, because you know my memory is absolute garbage usually. So
Yep.
too much stuff on the brain. And I thank you everybody who
Scott, Achievement Hunter. we watched that.
I love it.
That's what I was trying to get Doug to watch.
I will watch it at some point. I promise. It's just finding the time. Although I have worked on changing my schedule around to, instead of getting up at 7, getting up at 6 a.m. to give myself a little time to have coffee at home, watch something before getting the daughter up, and then heading to work. So maybe I'll try to find an episode or so of that in the morning when I'm not watching anime.
I love ghost watching or ghost hunting shows. They're fun. I just think they're like a good time to watch. So I need to watch Achievement Hunter.
It's fun.
Cool. I'm so sorry. I'm probably have to get a bounce because I have got to go to bed.
That's okay. We are saying our good nights. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight for Anime Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Next week, we are going to be at Rail City Fan Fest during the weekend. So we're going to be doing some live streams from the table. It's a first-year small con, so it's going to be interesting to see how this is set up.
Killer, yeah.
And we are still planning on doing our typical Sunday night show, because this show is only an hour from my house, so should be home in time to do that. We have no guests lined up, so be prepared for a bunch of random nonsense from Darren, Angela, and myself.
Perfection.
Maybe Kristi will come back and just like crank us or something. You never know.
Yeah, I'll come back and I'll just be like, "What's up? I'm crashing the stream."
And like I said, Kristi, you're welcome to join us anytime that you'd like, even if it's a guest co-host spot, or just come on and like,
just even if you want Sunday night.
have a chill Sunday night like this, or if you want to come on and be, interview cosplayers or artists or stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
I think it'd be fun for you to be able to ask the questions of fans, that not just them of you.
Whenever you had me on for Kid 'em Cause, I was like over the moon. Getting to ask them questions about their like style and methods and stuff, like, was so fun. So yeah, that was phenomenal.
So definitely we will have Kristi back on with us again. Exactly when, we will have to work on that, but we love having Kristi as a guest on the show. She is an amazing voice actor, very talented person, and someone that I really look forward to meeting in person and hanging out with when we can figure out when that all comes to fruition.
It'll happen one of these days. We're both hitting cons, so it's all good.
July 3rd, we do not have a guest as of yet. We are not traveling to Mass, so we will not be going to Northeast Comic Con that weekend. We're just going to stay home and veg. Have a kind of a recovery weekend, because we do have another big con, Kineticon, coming up in middle of July.
Oh yeah, so you got to spare yourself from the exhaustion of that. So yeah,
if we did Rail City, NECC, and then Kineticon, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 conventions in 10 weeks. 7 cons in 10 weeks.
Yeah, no, that's
too much.
That's an undertaking, is what that is.
And that, as it is, next week will be 4 cons in 6 weeks, and that will have included a trip to Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New York, and Vermont. And we still have trips planned for more Massachusetts conventions.
Oh my gosh, you
New
guys.
Jersey convention, and the possibility of one in Maine.
Dang. Yeah, you are going everywhere. Well, that's awesome. I'm like super stoked to see like all the stuff that you do there. That's awesome.
I don't know how to relax.
Hey, I mean, same. You're talking to a girl who's got 3 jobs. So you know what? Some of us just can't stop, and that's okay. But you got to force yourself sometimes. That's self-care.
Relaxing was spending my week off playing video games.
Perfect. Yeah, my weekend, I cleaned today, but like, no joke. I have days where I just don't even leave the house. I'm just like, no, I'm going to fall asleep in the same clothes I woke up in.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
So until next week,
That's
when
nice.
we're broadcasting live from Rail City Fan Fest on Saturday and Sunday, probably looking at doing 3-hour live streams both days, like we have in the past at Cons. We've tabled that. So you want to tune in for that. Until then, I hope.
Hi, Travis. Sorry, I just read the chat. Thank you, Travis. Travis is also an extraordinarily cool person. So he would actually be a fantastic guest to interview if you have not already.
I have not.
Ooh.
Feel free to reach out to us, Travis.
He's great. He's so funny and so fun to talk to, and he's a really good guy. So definitely, I would suggest for sure.
Yay, new awesome people.
Yes, always looking for more people to bring on the show. We love meeting new people and talking with new people. Like I said, until next week when we're going to be broadcasting live from Rail City Fan Fest out in St. Albans, Vermont. I hope everybody has a wonderfully safe week. Happy Father's Day once again to all the dads out there.
Yes, happy Father's Day to the dads. Oh, I got to text my dad. We celebrated Father's Day yesterday, so I was like, it's fine. But I was like, oh, wait, no, actually, I should probably text dad.
So until next week, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend or wonderful week, and we'll see everybody again next Saturday right here on Anime Zing Radio.